Exodus 10 to 12. Then Yahweh said to Moses, Go into Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I may show these my signs among them, and that you may tell in the hearing of your son and of your son's son the things I have done to Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that you may know that I am Yahweh. Moses and Aaron went in to Pharaoh and said to him, This is what Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, says. How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me, or else, if you refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow I will bring locusts into your country, and they shall cover the surface of the land, so that no one will be able to see the land. They will also eat the rest of what has escaped, what is left to you from the hail, and they will eat every tree which grows for you out of the field. Your houses shall be filled with the houses of all your servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, as neither your fathers nor your fathers' fathers have seen since the day that they were on the earth to this day. He turned and went out from Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's servants said to him, How long will this man be a snare to us? Let the men go, that they may serve Yahweh their God. Do you not know that Egypt is destroyed? So Moses and Aaron brought again to Pharaoh and said to him, Go, serve Yahweh your God, but who are those who will go? Moses said, We will go with our young and with our old. We will go with our sons and with our daughters, with our flocks and with our herds, for we must hold a feast to Yahweh. Then he said to them, Yahweh be with you if I let you go with your little ones. See, evil is clearly before your faces. Not so. Go now, who are men. Go now, you who are men, and serve Yahweh, for that is what you desire. So they have driven out from Pharaoh's presence. Then Yahweh said to Moses, Stretch out your hand over the land of Egypt, for the locusts, that they may come up on the land of Egypt and eat every herb on the land, even all that the hail has left. So Moses stretched out his staff over the land of Egypt, and Yahweh brought an east wind on the land all that day and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. The locusts went up over all the land of Egypt and rested in all the borders of Egypt. They were very numerous. Before them there were no such locusts as they, nor will there ever be again. For they covered the surface of the whole earth, that the land was darkened, and they ate every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left. Thus nothing green was left on the tree or herb of the field throughout all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste and said, I have sinned against Yahweh your God and against you. Now therefore, please forgive my sin again, and pray to Yahweh your God, that he may also take away from me this death. So he went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Yahweh. So Yahweh sent an exceedingly strong west wind, which took up the locust and drove them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the borders of Egypt. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the sons of Israel go. Then Yahweh said to Moses, Stretch out your hand toward the sky, that there might be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt. So Moses stretched out his hand toward the sky, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. They did not see one another, and nobody rose from his place for 3 days. But all the sons of Israel had light in their dwelling. Pharaoh called to Moses and said, Go, serve Yahweh. Only let your flocks and your herds stay behind. Let your little ones also go with you. But Moses said, You must also give into our hand sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice to Yahweh our God. Our livestock also shall go with us. Not a hoof shall be left behind. For of it we must take to serve Yahweh our God, and we do not know with what we must serve Yahweh until we come there. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. Pharaoh said to him, "Get away from me. Be careful to see my face no more. For in the day you see my face, you shall die." Moses said, "You have spoken well. I will see your face again no more." Then Yahweh said to Moses, "I will bring one more plague on Pharaoh and on Egypt. After that, he will let you go. When he lets you go, he will drive you out from here completely. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man ask of his neighbor and every one of her neighbor jewels of silver and jewels of gold." And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants and in the sight of the people. Moses said, "This is what Yahweh says. About midnight I will go out into the middle of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servant who is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of the livestock. There will be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there has never been, and such as shall never be again. But against any of the sons of Israel a dog will not even bark or move its tongue against man or animal, that you may know that Yahweh makes distinction between the Egyptians and Israel. All servants of yours will come down to me and bow down themselves to me, saying, 'Get out with all the people who follow you, and after that I will go out.' And he went out from Pharaoh in hot anger. Then Yahweh said to Moses, "Pharaoh will not listen to you, so that my wonders will be multiplied in the land of Egypt." Moses and Aaron did all the wonders before Pharaoh, yet Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not let the sons of Israel go out of his land. Now Yahweh spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, "This month shall be to you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this month they shall take them every man a lamb, according to their fathers' houses, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too little for a lamb, then he and his neighbor next to his house shall take one according to the number of the souls. You shall make your count for the lamb, according to what everyone can eat. Your lamb is to be without blemish, a male a year old. You shall take it from the sheep or from the goats. You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at evening. They shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel of the houses in which they shall eat it. They shall eat the meat on that night, roasted with fire, with matzah and maror. They shall eat it. Do not eat it raw or boiled at all with water, but roasted with fire, with its head, its legs, and its inner parts. You shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, but that which remains of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. This is how you shall eat it: with your belt on your waist, your sandals on your feet, your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is the Pesach of Yahweh. For I will go through the land of Egypt in that night, and will strike all the firstborn of the land of Egypt, both man and animal, and I will execute judgments against all the gods of Egypt. I am Yahweh. The blood shall be to you for a token on the houses where you are. When I see the blood, I will pass over you, and no plague will be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. This day shall be a memorial for you. You shall keep it as a feast to Yahweh, and you shall keep it as a feast throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. 7 days you shall eat matzah, but on the first day you must remove hametz from your house. For whoever eats hametz from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. On the first day you shall hold a holy assembly, and another holy assembly on the 7th. No kind of work shall be done on them, except what is to be eaten by every person, only that it may be done to you, and you shall observe the feast of Matzot. For in this same day I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at evening you shall eat matzah, until the 21st day of the month at evening. For 7 days no hametz is to be found in your houses. For whoever eats hametz, that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he is a foreigner or one who is born in the land. Eat nothing with hametz in it. In all your dwelling you shall eat matzah. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to him, Draw out, and take lambs according to your families, and slaughter the Pesach lamb. You shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. None of it shall go out the door of his house until the morning, for Yahweh will pass through to strike the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts, Yahweh will pass over the door, and will not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to strike you. You shall observe this thing for an ordinance to you and to your sons forever. And it will come to pass when you come to the land which Yahweh will give you, as he has promised, that you shall keep his service. And it will happen, when your children ask you, What do you mean by this service? That you will say, It is a Pesach sacrifice to Yahweh, who passed over the house of the sons of Israel in Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians, but spared our houses. And the people bowed their heads and worshipped. The sons of Israel went and did so, as Yahweh had commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. And it came to pass at midnight that Yahweh struck all the firstborn of the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive, who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the livestock. Then Pharaoh rose up at night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was no one dead. He called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, Rise up, get out from among my people, both you and the sons of Israel, and go, serve Yahweh, as you have said. Take both your livestock, your herds, and as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. The Egyptians were urgent with the people, so they sent them out of land in haste, for they said, We are all dead men. So the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading bowls being bound up in their cloths and their shoulders. So the sons of Israel did according to the words of Moses, and they asked all the Egyptians jewelry of silver, jewelry of gold, and clothing. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have what they asked. Thus they plundered the Egyptians. And the sons of Israel traveled from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, who were men in addition to children. A mixed multitude also went up with them, and flocks and herds, and very large number of livestock. They baked matzah cakes in the dough which they brought out of Egypt, for it had no hametz, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and they could not delay. They had not prepared any food for themselves. Now the time that the sons of Israel lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of 430 years, to the day, all the armies of Yahweh went out before the land of Egypt. It is a night to be observed for Yahweh, for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This night is for Yahweh, to be much observed by all the sons of Israel throughout their generations. Then Yahweh said to Moses and Aaron, This is the ordinance of the Pesach. No foreigner shall eat of it, but every man's servant who has bought for money, when you have circumcised him, may eat it. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat of it. It must be eaten in one house. You shall not carry any of the meat outside of the house. Do not break any of its bones. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. When a stranger lives and a foreigner with you, you will like to keep the Pesach to Yahweh. Let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. He shall be as one who is born in the land, but no uncircumcised person shall eat of it. The same Torah shall apply to the native as to the stranger who sojourns among you. All the sons of Israel did so, as Yahweh commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. The same day Yahweh brought the sons of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies.